When we moved to the property, we didn't have any agricultural background at all, but we didn't know anything that we were trying to do. We had a property that had a lot of weeds that had been poorly managed for cattle, and it was a blank slate.
I think the biggest challenge is we didn't know where to start. We didn't know anything about our soil, about our grass, about our native species or about our weeds.
Our major challenges to start off with, we purchased a block of land that had been heavily grazed, and there's very little organic material on the land, and some weed infestations of bracket and ragwort. There was not much organic material on the ground, so we had to improve our pasture management. Wallabies were a big issue, and also just how to source information.
Our biggest challenges were that we both worked professionally in town, so time was always limited. We also had 5 horses at the time and no grass on the property, so it was sort of a lack of feed, having to hard feed all of the time, and we had a lot of visiting wallabies. We now have a plan to make the property work for us so that it requires minimal effort on our behalf for it to deliver what we need for our horses, for recreation and sport. We have a completely new layout within the property in terms of how it's grazed and how stock moves around the property. We have wallaby proofing all the way around the boundary, and we have grass, lots of grass.
We've improved our management of our pasture with our rotational grazing, and now we're seeing a great increase in things like our species diversity, our pasture coverage, our reduced recovery rates. So that framework for decision making was what we got out of the course.
Since we've done the course and implemented what we've learned, I mean, the amount of changes, it's too big to list. And the main thing is improved pasture, and the need to actually purchase an extra feed through winter is reduced. So we've got more consistent feed on the property.
And that's saving us thousands of
It's
dollars.
saving us thousands, and just it's great seeing that organic matter building up on the ground now in the pasture, and the moisture being retained in the soil, which in the first couple of years the paddocks were just drying out in summer.
Without question, the greatest improvement to our property has been the management of pasture on our property. It's growing better, we have better coverage, we've got better stocking densities, the cattle are healthier. Just every single facet of cattle and pasture management has been improved by rotational grazing.
But in general terms, the greatest improvement has been a framework that we've been able to apply to all the decisions that we're making, whether it's weeds, whether it's biosecurity, whether it's pasture management, soil health. You know, we've got access resources now that allow us to make improvements across the board. So we can point to individual single improvements, but actually our decision making and our approach is what's actually improved across the whole farm.
The greatest improvement for me has been the understanding I now have about grass and pastures, to understand what soil conditions help support a good pasture, and to know how to use grazing animals in a way that assists the growth and maintenance of a good pasture.
If we hadn't done the B&B course, we would still be quite confused about what it is we're trying to do, and we certainly wouldn't have achieved the things that we've done. And going forward, we still wouldn't know what it is we're trying to achieve. The B&B course has been fundamental in the successes that we've had on the property.
The property planning course, how useful has it been?
Oh, it's been invaluable.
Absolutely. But since the course, and we've got together and we're part of a social group of like-minded small landholders. I think there's well over 100 landholders in the group now, where we get together every couple of months, pick a topic, find a speaker, and share that knowledge. And this has just opened up a wealth of knowledge to us.